What is the best revenge on a cheating partner? Hey people of Reddit. Today, we're diving into a topic that's both sensitive and empowering. What is the best revenge on a cheating partner? Betrayal can cut deep, but revenge isn't just about getting even. It's about finding closure and reclaiming your power. In this video, we'll explore different perspectives on revenge, from the cathartic to the constructive, and discuss how to heal and thrive after such a betrayal. Remember, revenge isn't always about retaliation. It's about rediscovering your worth and moving forward. Before we go to the first story, please hit a subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with us. Number 15. My wife left after I had a health issue so she could enjoy her life. I recovered, joined a gym, joined a whip dancing club, and got out with friends at least 4 nights a week. Took my grown kids out fishing on the weekends. Dated some, but more importantly made a lot of lady friends that really helped raise my self-worth. 11 years later, I married a fantastic woman who makes my life wonderful. We've been together for almost 30 years now, and she told me she owes my ex a debt of gratitude for making me available. My ex quickly married a bar hookup who refused to work, and she had to support them both. She's still unhappy with her life. So as far as I'm concerned, the best revenge is to forget they even exist and enjoy your life. Number 14. From a person who's been cheated on by 2 different partners, the best revenge is no revenge. Start taking care of yourself more. Go to a movie or dinner by yourself, maybe pick up an exercise plan, and begin appreciating the fact that you can find happiness all by yourself. They may never regret their behavior, and that's not for you to ponder. Going to bed every night with a clear conscience knowing that you did your best and still have love in your heart is a beautiful thing. Be well, friend. Number 13. Instead of focusing on revenge, put all of your energy into improving your life. Stay sober, stay focused, hit therapy, start a journal, exercise, and if you have a job, get serious about your work. These are the things I did after my partner of 12 years cheated on me. I'm proud to say that as a result, I've lost 40 pounds, I've had several promotions, upgraded my house, bought a new Jeep, built a hot tub for it in my backyard, and I now take regular vacations. Now she's very unhappy with her choices and unfortunately stuck in an unhealthy relationship with the man she left me for. I almost feel sorry for. Not really lol. Girl vibe. Number 12. My wife was abusive and a complete narcissist. She then admitted to me one day of having an affair with a married guy from work for years. Fast forward 5 years, I haven't spoken to her since. I make 5 times what I made when I was with her. I'm in the best shape of my life. Relocated to a new area, and I'm remarried to an amazing woman. Calling it quits with that loser was the best gift I could have ever received. Number 11. An ex about 10 years ago emailed me to say it wasn't working out and that she had met the unconditional love of her life, something she told me I was lol. So needless to say, I was a bit hurt, but not much I could do about it. I chewed on it for a while and got really pissed off the more I thought about it. I eventually moved on with life and basically forgot about her entirely, like pushed so far out of my mind and memories that I legit never thought about her at all. I ended up running into her several years afterwards working at a hotel reception desk and straight up didn't even notice her. She was acting a little bitchy and I didn't know why and chalked it up to her having a rough day or something. Got my key and got settled in my room. The next morning I was coming out to get ready to head to work and was in the lounge area where they have the waffles and as she taps me on the shoulder, I'd assume she worked all night and proceeds to challenge me. And I'm like, whoa. If I did something to offend you, I'm so sorry, but who the are you? Or something to this effect. And then she said, I'm so glad I'm married, husband in here, and not you, you're such a piece of And then I was like, oh, as the light finally came on. She looked like she was very miserable in life, and that made me very happy. She was a real tool. Looking back on it, I am kind of proud of myself that I managed to completely move on with my life that I didn't even remember what she looked like. Lol, I am amazed that she expected me to dwell on her as if she was the greatest thing that ever happened to me and that I lost her. Like it seems she almost expected me to dwell on it for years and be depressed about it. As if that wasn't enough, I met a woman in Germany who is like the female version of me. It's pretty awesome. Funny how life works out when you just go with the flow, eh? Number 10. Crabs, not the sexually transmitted kind. Just a bucket of soldier crabs tossed on them in the night. They'll never sleep easy again. After 37 years of marriage, Jake, a prominent businessman in South Florida, decided to leave his wife for his much younger secretary. His new girlfriend demanded that they live in Jake and Edith's multi-million-dollar home, and since the Jakes' lawyers were better than Edith's, he prevailed. After the divorce was finalized, he gave Edith, his now ex-wife, just 3 days to move out. She spent the first day packing her belongings into boxes, crates, and suitcases. On the second day, she'd had the movers come and collect her things. On the third day, she sat down for the last time at their beautiful dining room table. She lit some candles, put on some soft background music, and feasted on a pound of shrimp, a jar of caviar, and a bottle of Chardonnay. When she had finished, she went into each and every room and stuffed half-eaten shrimp shells, dipped in caviar into the hollow of all of the curtain rods. She then cleaned up the kitchen and left. When the husband returned with his new girlfriend, all was bliss for the first few days. Then slowly the house began to smell. They tried everything: cleaning, mopping, even airing the place out. The vents were checked for dead rodents and the carpets were cleaned. They'd hung air fresheners everywhere. Exterminators were brought in to set off gas canisters, during which time they had to move out for a few days, and in the end, they even replaced the expensive wool carpeting. Nothing worked. People stopped coming over to visit. Repairmen refused to work in the house. Even the maid quit. Finally, they could not take the stench any longer and decided to move. A month later, even though they had cut their price in half, they could not find a buyer for their stinky house. Word got out, and eventually even the local realtors refused to return their calls. Finally, they had to borrow a huge sum of money from the bank to purchase a new place, all the while their other homes stood empty and unsold. The ex-wife called the man and asked how things were going. He told her the saga of the rotting house. She listened politely and said that she missed her old home terribly and would be willing to reduce her divorce settlement in exchange for getting the house back. Knowing his ex-wife had no idea how bad the smell was, he agreed on a price that was about 1/10th of what the house had been worth, but only if she were to sign the papers that very day. She agreed, and within the hour his lawyers delivered the paperwork. A week later, the man and his girlfriend stood smiling as they watched the moving company pack everything to take to their new home, including the curtain rods. Tilde original author unknown. Number 9. Never talk to them again. Block them on anything they try to contact you on. Very hard to do when you have children. I just take pleasure in knowing everything I predicted would happen. She has been in abusive relationships one after another. Has 2 more kids she can't cope with. Forever spiraling in uncontrollable debt. And mean. My career has only got better and better. I have everything she ever wanted. I pick up my daughter for my weekend, turns in an 80,000 pounds car. If I happen to meet her at the doorstep, I can always taste the regret and envy in the air. Feels fucking great. Number 8. Leaving with no explanation. They leave for work and you just pack up, leave, block them and all their friends and family. Never speak to them again. They will be so confused and hurt. No revenge is better than leaving them utterly confused and caught off guard. Number 7. My ex-wife wasn't cheating, but judging me by the lifestyle of others. Everything wasn't good enough. Not enough money, not enough traveling, old car, etc. Everyone was doing better than us. I try to explain and convince her that having a flat, a car, and no debt is good by today's standards, and that I am sick of being compared to her friends. Towards the end, she was openly showing interest to her colleagues. She thought she could do better. We ended up divorcing. I met my current wife and have been much happier ever since. She, on the other hand, now sees how good it was. Number 6. I'm pretty sure I was cheated on once, when a girlfriend ghosted me 6 months into our relationship, starting when she didn't show up for a date on her birthday. I saw her internet activity, but she didn't respond to me at all. I assumed she cheated on me and was too ashamed to face me. I quickly stopped caring about her as I started dating the girl I would eventually marry about 4 months later. The revenge was about a year later when I was walking through a transit station in my army uniform. I had gotten in much better shape, and the uniform looked good on me. I saw her from across the station standing near my exit. She actually tried to wave at me, but I didn't even turn to look. Amazingly enough, I saw her 2 more times after that over the years. Maybe 4 years later, I was biking home along a very nice beach, and I saw someone wave at me. I didn't bother to stop, but I kept a camera on my bike and watched the footage when I got home. It was her again. I saw her again maybe 5 years after that when I was leaving a store after exchanging a pair of pants for my wife. I was on the phone with her and she started walking towards me with a smile. I just sidestepped her and kept moving. Then my wife told me she wanted me to go back to the store and get a different size. I think the ex thought I didn't see her the first time, so she tried approaching me again. Sidestepped again. Then the third time after getting the correct size of pants, I went back by the same spot and saw her sitting on a bench looking sad. We locked eyes and I just laughed and walked away. Number 5. Living after you leave. I woke up at 4:30 one morning and she was gone. Cheated on me after 5 years. I ended up reconnecting with an old friend. Been together a decade now with a great home, happy families, an amazing relationship, and a beautiful marriage. Last I heard, my ex had become a stripper addicted to pain pills, cleaned up her act, and had some dude knock her up and leave. Number 4. I moved very far away from my home and friends to a place so my wife could have horses. It was just not financially feasible where we were. I did manage to find a pretty good paying job after a year of being there. Downside, it was night shift. After a while, I noticed that she was becoming distant. She no longer wanted to have sex with me or spend off time together. I was disturbed to say the least, but chalked it up to a rough patch that we needed to work through. Long story short, she was having an affair. I found out later that when I left for work, her boyfriend came in for the night. Thanks neighbors who could have told me sooner. Anyway, we did get divorced. She insisted. I was still stupidly trying to make it work. I moved out. The boyfriend moved in and parked his Corvette in front of my house. But I have to say I had no part in the ultimate revenge. It was karma. They were traveling on the very narrow and winding road that led to our country house, and they collided at high speed with another vehicle. The boyfriend spun the car, so the passenger side took the full force of the impact. Nice guy, he barely got a scratch. She was severely injured and was in the hospital with multiple broken bones and other injuries for weeks. Never wished her any harm or even tried to get revenge of any kind, but she did this to herself. By the way, the boyfriend dumped her and moved to another state to avoid her lawsuit. Karma is a bitch. Number 3. So when I was in my 20s, I was with this girl I really cared about. Thought it was really going to last forever. Beautiful, sweet, smart, independent. I mean, I got a real sense she wanted to be with me and not needed to be with someone. Made me feel great. I one day caught her f***ing another dude. I was absolutely devastated. But instead of yelling, screaming, and acting violent or angry, I just said, "Oh shit. Sorry," and left. Never picked up the phone. Again, never went to get my stuff or any other nonsense. Just cut her off. She called and left voicemails and texted me. They started out as, "You have to let me explain," to "Please give me another chance," to the fact that you showed no emotion or anything and had just cut me off. Shows you never cared about me anyway. Eventually she said she hated me and was glad she did it. Then she would apologize and say, "Please talk to me." It was pretty obvious that my reaction was eating her up inside. It hurt, but you move on. It's fine. In the end, she wasn't the right one. I'm happily married with 2 kids and 2 dogs and a house now. Life is full of ups and downs. Don't let them define you. Number 2. Acting like they never existed. If you find out they cheat, don't engage. Ignoring people is the most effective, most painful mental trick you can play with someone. You'd be surprised how many people you can manipulate if you just simply pretend they're not there. Egos are fragile. You're so right. It's my go-to for people too. I'm so blessed to be a type of woman that instead of freaking out and losing it in really terrible situations, I just think it's their loss as I know my worth. It's crazy how easy it is to get under people's skin. I honestly don't do it and am super upfront about my feelings, but do something unforgivable. I'm like, "Bye bitch. Lol." Number 1. Leaving and living a life so good you forget they exist. This is what my dad did. My mom cheated on him with the dad of a family she was a nanny for. In a divorce, she got half his pension and primary custody of my brother and I. Then she spent the next decade telling us a story that they split because my dad was too cheap about money, and it led to too many arguments. Despite all of that, he ended up remarrying with an old flame from high school who owns a lucrative heating and air business that allows them to live quite comfortably. They bought a big plot of land in the countryside and started a horse and cattle farm like he always wanted. Now he's happier than I've ever seen him. My mom still doesn't know that I know all of this, and I go back and forth about confronting her on it. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Remember, revenge might feel tempting, but real healing comes from focusing on yourself. If you've been through this, you're not alone. Smash that like button, share this with someone who needs it, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more awesome content. Take care of yourself, stay awesome, and remember, your happiness is always a priority. Catch you in the next one. See ya.